everyone, and welcome to my 10-minute collage. This video will be a bit longer than 10 minutes because I'm going to explain a couple of things. First of all, here's my album that I am going to be using. There is a tutorial on how I created this, and I will leave a link to that in the description box. It's very simple. I mean, really, bit of Amazon packaging and a piece of 12 by 12 and some string. If you wanted a closure, you could tie a ribbon on here in the middle of it, and then you could have the ribbon and tie it. That's what I usually do for my art journals. I haven't done that yet for this, but I will do it. And that is the kind of size, about what did I say that was, A6, so it's a roughly 6 by 4 inches, something like that. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be using. I was going to show you briefly. First of all, I was going to do it, we've talked about it with lots of various people, and we think twice a month. Now, because I do the art journal on the 1st and the 15th, I'm thinking I'm going to go around about the 8th and the 22nd of the month. It's not going to be set in stone. You know, I'm going to aim to do the 8th and the 22nd, but if that doesn't happen for any reason, because, you know, I do have a slight life and I don't have a chance to do it, then, you know, I'm not going to sweat about it. And the same goes for everybody else. There's not doing prompts, because that means that you can't use your scraps. If your scraps are blue and we say yellow, then, you know, I'm just trying to keep it as loose and, you know, relaxing, and let's just all have a go using the bits that we've got. So I wasn't going to do prompts. If people want prompts, then we can look into doing that, or a colour theme or something. But I just thought I would just go with the flow. Everybody can go their own way. What I will do, and I don't know whether or not this will work on my phone, but we will try and see. I've got some ideas from Pinterest of people's, of collages. Now, whether or not this will work, I don't know. But this is done mainly with newspaper, and somebody's collaged and stenciled. This one is quite neat. Lots of rectangles with words on, and, you know, they're outlined and put together. This has got a background and then like a flower collaged on top. Lots of triangles just put together. I'm just showing you a few different things, different ways people have done things. They've got a painted background and then feathers. I don't know if these are showing up, I cannot tell. Somebody's made some trees and cut them out to collage. Don't know why that's in the collage thing. I'm not 100% sure I'm going the right way with this either. Let's have a look. Yeah, I am, but it's not showing you. Show you some different things. Like that one's a painted paper with other painted papers, but made into flowers and collaged on. A vase of flowers. These are just ideas from people. Somebody's made a cat out of different papers. So you can do it your own. These are more abstract, probably sort of thing that I'm going to be doing, but that doesn't mean you have to do the same. I just fancy, you know, and I might not always do the same. Lots of little triangles. It looks very pretty, but again, just cut your triangles up and glue them on, or cut parts out and make a picture. I love those two birds again, like seagulls or something there. Oops, don't want to go to that. That is actually done with fabric, but you could, or I think it is, but you could do it with paper as well. That kind of thing. You can make a picture, you can make a mess like I'm going to do, that kind of thing. I'm not going to think about it too much. Lots of layering up there if you wanted to do something layered up. Or a pretty bird, look. They're just ideas to give you, or that is something collaged on a bird that you could then put on your collage. These are just different ideas, and I had a look on Pinterest for those, just to give you an idea of the kind of thing you could do. We don't all have to do the same. It's just like deciding, giving yourself 10 minutes of time to have a play around. The other thing I said the other day was that on my desk I always have bits of paper like this, which is too nice to throw away. I've got this bit that was left over when I made my journal, and they're not really big enough to do much with, but you could use them for collage. And I've got heaps and heaps and heaps of jelly prints which I would like to use. I've got in this box, now I've only kept this since we started talking about doing any collages, but these are the things which I've got on my desk. I've got some napkin from when I did that napkin journal, just a little bit left over, but rather than throw it away, I thought I would keep it, because you never know, a little bit of napkin might be just what we need. I've just cut the borders off some something I was making for an ATC, but they're quite pretty, and I thought, oh, I don't want to throw those away. I'm going to keep them because they could go on a collage as well. And they literally are scraps that I would have thrown in the bin. These are bits of, I was making some ATCs, and I've got these bits left over. I'm keeping them. I can't really make an ATC from it or a card. They're too tiny for that. I mean, I could, but also I could use them for collage, so I've kept those. I had a go at making some of Betsy Doodle's doodle flower things with some, it's a kind of a metallic-y watercolour, which I absolutely love. It has like 3 colours in it, so I've made some of those, but I mean, they're not really that great, but they might do on a collage. There's a couple more there. There's a handmade flower that I made at some point, but it's just knocking around on its own. I've got some butterflies, one that's been made, one that is obviously, it looks like I folded it like I was going to use it, but then didn't use it. I've got some, do you remember me doing these ages ago? What are they? Dried flowers in, you know, these are just things sitting around. On top of the fact I've got tons of paper, these are bits, and I've got lots and lots of stamps, and I thought I might, and I don't know whether or not I will. I've got so many stamps both here and in a box just in front of me that I might put a stamp on lots of them. You know, if I'm doing something purple, I might put a purple stamp on it, that kind of thing. You could add extra things as well. I've got some inches sitting around that I've made but not done anything with, and I figured, well, I'm not going to throw them out, but I don't know what to do with them. I love that one. I just really love it with the crackle paste and everything. So, you know, I've kept them. You know, maybe we could use those. I've got lots of these. These come off the top of wine, and you know, I can flatten those down and have that. I've got quite a few of those for some unknown reason, but again, you could use those in your collage. Start saving bits instead of throwing them in the bin. Hang on to them. A couple of die cuts. I made those ages ago. I can't even tell you. I can't remember making them, but they're just sitting around. I think this one's, no, I was going to say it was broken, but I don't even know if it is. But again, you never know. I've got a pretty box here that had a lip balm in it, but it's got some gold and, you know, an interesting shape. Hang on to it. Might pop that in a collage. This is one of Betsy Doodle's mushrooms. I think it dropped out of the packet, and I think, oh well, might use that. All sorts of little bits and bobs. I'll tell you what else I've got. Pretty scraps from bits of paper, the one I've used to make ATCs and things like that. Just hanging on to them to use as and when. So I am going to start my collage. I don't know whether I'm going to take it out to work on or whether I'm just going to work in the book. I think I probably will work in the book. I'm not going to I'll put a bit of paper in there to stop gluing the pages together. I'm not going to think about it too much. I'm just going to have a bit of fun. I need a little bit of room, and you know, that's all it needs to be, a bit of fun. We can do it together. I will show you mine, and I will try and upload, like I say, on the 8th and the 22nd. I think that's roughly in between the other 2 dates. And if you want to play along, use the hashtag. If you don't feel like doing it that week, don't do it. Or if you're doing it and you're loving it and you want to do more pages, go ahead and do more. There's going to be no rules except to have fun and not fret about it. We don't want to sit there looking at things and thinking, should I put it here, should I put it there, should it? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Let's just make some art and make it quickly. So I'm not, do you want me to put a timer on? I could put a timer on, but I don't really think I will. I feel like doing it. So I think I'm going to start using the bits that I'd got left over when I made my journal. So I've got a piece of this that I don't want to throw that out, and I think I could use that somehow. I mean, I could just put that on there and that could be my collage, but I think I will not use the whole thing. I have a little bit of the book that it came, oh no, it wasn't something else, but I've got some book paper that I can use. I've cut out from this paper, there was a butterfly, and I thought originally I was going to put it on there, but I thought no, I'll save it. Maybe that could go in my collage. This is a bit of Amazon packaging. You can still see like the smile thing on it, and I was using it to roll my brayer on to when I was doing some jelly prints. It's the only thing I had to hand. And then actually it was so pretty with the red and the white and how it turned to pink that I used it to make gift tags, and that's a little tiny bit of it that's left. So, you know, let's just, I think I'm just going to pick some bits out and just, oops, sorry, see where we go with it. There's a couple of red scraps there. This has got a bit of red in it. Valentine's Day heart. It was a jelly print that I did on something that I'd already stamped on, and it was just to make a template that I used for something, probably my Valentine's card. I can't even remember. And, you know, like I say, pretty scraps, and I don't know, you know, even this could go on there. So I'm not going to think about it too much. I like the fact that that's already got a postage stamp on it. I like the button. I'm actually going to just rip it, and I'm not going to think too much about it. Picking out the bit that that I fancy using. And that's another thing. I'm going to use some of my papers and things that I've got hanging around that I never use because you know, for one reason or another, you know, I think they're too good to use or something. I'm just going to start using them. Right, this bit's left. It's going back in that box because, you know, why not? So I'm going to place a few things. I will use the book paper. If you want to use if you want to do stamping, if you want to do inking, go ahead. I might do that with this because this is looking a bit vintage. That is not. So I might fiddle around with that a little bit, but I don't really want to waste that much time. I would like my butterfly on there somewhere. Now, I was thinking about these, but they don't go with that, so I'm saving those for another day, and we will use those some other time. We could use something with a pop of colour. I might use washi tapes as well, because I've got oodles of washi tape, which I never use, and that would be good also for collage, so I might get those out and use those. Right, I'm liking that. Do I want any of this napkin in here? I just don't know. I mean, I could put it right along the edge perhaps and then do it over the top. I don't know. This is what we don't want, is tons of me dithering and you putting you off and you thinking, oh, I don't know if I should. Let's just go with the flow. Right. I think I'm going to ink around that one, maybe that one too. So let's just move that to one side. Grab me some frayed burlap, I think. And if you don't like something, what's the worst that can happen? You know, you can always cover it up or remove it from your book, but you know, you could collage over it, cover it with gesso, something like that. Don't worry too much about things. We all worry too much, and if you're crafting, you don't want to be worrying. You just want to be having a bit of fun. Do you know what? I think I might I want to leave a little bit there. That will do. Let's put that out the way. Come back. Oh, I did say something about this, didn't I? What could we do with that? Shall we wait and see? Right, I think I'm popping that on there and that on there. I'm using a glue stick, and for the most part I will, because it's easy, it dries quickly, it doesn't leave a mess. Whoops, let's just pop that on there. Like you see, I'm not really thinking about it, or well, she says that, but then now will that go on? It will go on there, and it will go on with a napkin, but with a napkin, with a glue stick. You know, we could put watercolours on it if we wanted to. That'll do. Right, I've got this. This is more or less probably going to go on the top. I'm trying not to, I don't mind putting layers of things down. What I don't want to do is add too much dimension, because it just makes it really bulky, and I'm really good at making things bulky. Do you know what, I think I might use that. I'm going to rip that off, pop that back in the box. I might use scissors for the top. Alright, that scrappy is going in the bin. Do I want to put that up against there? I might need a heavier duty glue. That's quite stiff card. So let's, I had my glue about 2 minutes ago. What have I done with it? Oh, it's looking at me. I mean, you could try with Pritt stick, but I think it'll just probably fall off. And do I want the colour there? Yeah, maybe like that. Maybe we'll have that on there, and I am going to go around the edge. I don't know why, I don't normally feel the need, but I'm feeling the need to go around. Get rid of some of those white edges. This is also quite stiff card, so I think I will just use a drop of Yoo-hoo since it's out. Okay, that is still going to go on there, I think. And I'm going to say to you, do pop and have a look if you're on Instagram. I don't want to put that on. Do I want that on there? Does it add anything? Just a bit. I'm going to cut it in half and use half of it. And put the other half back in the box. If you're on Instagram, pop along and see the queen of collage, Julie, who is Paper Lover 123. I will leave a link to Julie's Instagram in my, she doesn't do videos, but I will leave a link to her in my description box. And she uses all sorts of things. She's lots of magazines as well. You know, you can cut all sorts of things out of magazines if you haven't got a ton of, you know, scraps and what have you. She has got tons, and you can use, and I've seen her use lots of magazines for, you know, funny faces and all sorts of things. She's very good at collage. I am no expert at all, but I'm just going to use it as a way to have fun, create something. And, you know, maybe I'll have a go at making a picture of something. I don't know, I don't fancy doing that today. Right, I do want that butterfly on there, but it looks very, very flat. So, let's get a paintbrush and curl its wings up to begin with and see what we can do with that. Looks a little bit better, and it'll probably end up going flat anyway, but it just gives it a little bit of dimension without being over the top. Right, I'm going to pop that on there. And I am just going to use a bit of the U-hoop, but again, you know, any glue would do, anything at all. I'm going to pop that on there like this. Now I do fancy finding a postage stamp. Do I have one? I've got plenty in here. In fact, I've got butterfly ones in here. Let's have a look. Have I got something of the right colour? Because I think I might try and put one on every page, but we will see what we've got. I've got so many, and I hoard them, and I'm thinking, no, just use some. Really quite fancy a butterfly one. That's got a bit too much blue in it, I think. Maybe that's our best bet so far. I won't obviously keep you forever. She said, oh, there's a ready one there. That's the one. That's the one. So that is going to go down. Do I need to put anything around it? I could put it on something, or I could just put it down. So now I'm looking at this and thinking, oh, that looks quite cool. Do I want to use that? I might. I'm going to cut this off. There. And have a look. Do I want to put that on? Maybe put that on top. Like that. I think I will. Now, what did I say about not having too much dimension? And then I'm just literally going ahead. And, oh, I could put it down that way. That's quite interesting as well. Or with the tab up there, because you're not going to see that if I put this on top, are you? I'm doing that. That's what I'm doing. See, it just evolves as you get going. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not sitting there, you know, thinking, you know, tomorrow I'm going to do a collage, I'm going to do this, that and the other. I'm just going to come to it and do it. See what happens. Right, where is my Pritt stick? Because I'm using Yoo-hoo and I don't need to. And I'm glad I'm using one of my stamps, and I'm going to try, that's what I'm going to do, try and use a stamp on every, oh, I don't really know which way up it goes. I think it's supposed to go that way up, but the butterfly's upside down then, and I don't know if I want to do that. Oh no, sorry, writing's got to go upside down and the butterfly's got to go the right way up. There we go, happy with that. Right, now I've got a post cancellation stamp. I've got several, but I'm actually going to keep this one in the box with my scraps and do it in different colours with this. And I'm going to use red today because I seem to have turned out doing a red, kind of red page. Let me just try that out somewhere. Yeah, that will do fine. And I'm going to put it there, and I'm going to call that done. That's me finished. I don't know how long it took, hopefully not very long. And I hope you have fun with yours. If you do a 10-minute collage, use the hashtag please, and show me your work. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and well, and I'll be back again on the 8th with another one. Thank you for watching. Bye.